Once again, we say good afternoon and welcome back to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Coming to you live from John Stella Field in Brown Park in Omaha, Nebraska. We bring you game number 2 of this 4-game matchup between the Bellevue University Bruins and the Valley City State University Vikings. Mick Krupski and Chris Williamson back with you as the Valley City Vikings take the field. Second game of today's doubleheader. Second game of this 4-game set. An exciting 5-4 10-inning win for the Bruins in game number 1 as we get ready for game number 2. On the mound for the Valley City Vikings, Daniel Alvarado, southpaw pitcher. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, Daniels has 3 appearances. He's started 1 game. Doesn't have any record so far. 8 innings, 8 2/3 innings, given up 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned. He's walked 5. He does have 12 strikeouts in those 8 innings, which is Ks per 9 is almost 12.5. His ERA is 7, over 7. So he does have strikeout numbers. So I'm curious to see, how this lineup can adjust to, going from, righty, a really good right-handed pitcher in Hunter to a southpaw that looks like he's got some decent velo with him.
Yeah, good speed and good movement on his fastballs as we watch him warming up. He's obviously had some issues with his left leg. That's in a brace, kind of a Lenox Hill looking brace like they used to have back in the day, the Joe Namath made famous brace. As Alvarado will get ready for the Bellevue Bruins, it'll be Kanta Kobayashi to start things off. We'll give you the starting lineups, the batting orders, as we get ready for game number 2. Again, thanks for joining us on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.
Number 15, Kanta Kobayashi.
Lefty-lefty matchup as we start the game. Here's the first pitch from Alvarado. First pitch swinging is Kobayashi. A chopper to the shortstop, Shane Nixon, across the diamond. 1 pitch, 1 out in today's second game. So Kanta 0 for the day, 0 for 6 in game number 1. And a ground out here in this one as well. Second place hitter for the Bruins, also a lefty, shortstop, Brendan Luther.
When Kanta was hitting the ball hard, he was taking it deep into counts. When he was being super aggressive, swinging right away, as there's ball in the outside corner, he wasn't getting very good contact. It's almost like he's too jumpy. He wants to hit so bad, and that's usually not like him.
Here's the next pitch. Luther shows bunt, pulls it back as it bounces in. That got a little bite out of the catcher, Jaden Babiuk. Looks like he's going to be okay, however. 2-0 the count on Luther. Luther 1 hit in game number 1 today. Upstairs on that one. Top of the order, not as productive as they normally are for the Bruins in that game number 1 win, but the Bruins still coming away with the win, 5-4 in 10.
And you're not going to have the same guys hit every single game. That's just unrealistic. So, as there's strike 1, so it was good to see the bottom of the order come up big when they needed them, in game 1, because it's gonna need to happen more times than not.
And it was Eric Anderson coming in, pinch hitting in the DH role, a solo home run. That was the final margin of victory. Luther swings and misses at that one. Full count on the Bruins shortstop. A mostly sunny day coming to you. Temperature in the low to mid 50s throughout. Breaking ball by Alvarado misses wide, and Brendan Luther becomes the first base runner of this second game on the walk.
Catcher, that ball was in the other batter's box, but the catcher tried to make it look really good, and he did a really good job with it. But umpire was not fooled whatsoever.
Next up for the Bruins, left fielder Jake Lacey. Jake had a home run to salvage the game number 1 today, take it into extra innings. His leadoff home run in the 9th inning took us to extra innings. Lacey also had a single, 2 singles in fact, in game number 1. Bruins want to try to get on the scoreboard early if they can here in game number 2. Pitch, a little changeup, misses low. Daniel Alvarado on the mound. Southpaw comes to the set just above the belt and delivers. That one's hit hard in left field. That's going to drop, maybe extra bases. One hops the wall. Here comes Luther rounding second. He'll drop anchor at third. on the one-out double by Jake Lacey. Nice turn on the fastball by Lacey.
Yeah, it was fastball right in the inside corner. He just didn't elevate it. He hit it hard, one hopped off the left field fence. And actually the second baseman ran into Luther as he was going to third base. Granted, he was going to be safe anyway, but if there was to be any play and he would have got called out, he would have been safe due to interference.
Next batter for the Bruins, the cleanup hitter, the catcher, Logan Grant, called strike one. Alvarado, a big guy on the mound, 6'4" sophomore out of Strasburg, Colorado. Lined hard down the right field line, but pulled foul. 3 of the 4 infielders at regular depth. Third baseman Torrey Nelson in a couple of steps in that position. Grant had 1 hit in game number 1 today. Lays off that pitch, misses outside a couple inches. 1-2 now, the count. Alvarado working from the third base side of the pitcher's rubber. Just a matter of preference where you want to work in the middle or either side. Grant skies that one to deep right field. Right fielder going back on the warning track. It will stay in the park, but it'll be deep enough for a sacrifice fly. Logan Grant just missed that one, just got under it. He'll get credit for an RBI as Brendan Luther comes across with the first run of the game. Also advancing Jake Lacey to third.
Yeah, it was a fastball. He hit it extremely high and was probably, 4 or 5 feet short from going out.
Nice job of finding the fence and staying with it by the right fielder, Drew Dixon, for the second out of the inning. The batter is Anthony Lind, and a nice play in foul territory by Jake Lacey. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, where the base runner makes the play on a foul ball.
I just don't think he wanted Coach Monlux to get in the TV time on making a play over there.
We'll go with the fact that Jake probably has better hands than Coach Monlux. Next pitch, outside, 1-1 the count. You always tell your base runner, get your lead in foul territory. That way if the ball hits you, and you're going to be a foul ball. So if the ball hits you or you hit the ball. Lind awaits. That one down low, blocked up by the catcher. We've got a few text messages coming in already for game number 2. That's great. 402-515-7654 is the text message number. We've heard from Bellevue fans and Valley City fans so far today. That one's hit in the air to center field. Dustin Mertz, the center fielder, comes in, still coming in, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. The Bruins pick up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. The RBI sacrifice fly by Logan Grant gets Bellevue on the board with 1. Valley City State coming to bat. For the Bellevue Bruins, heading to the mound, southpaw Blake Crippen. An outstanding 2023 season for Blake. He is the North Star Athletic Association Pitcher of the Week this week and last week. And last week he was also the NAIA Pitcher of the Week. Tell us a little bit more about the stat line for Blake Crippen.
Yeah, he's started all 6 games that he's appeared in. He's 5-1, 2 of them complete. He's got 35 innings, given up 39 hits, 14 runs, 13 of them earned. He does have 10 walks, 27 strikeouts, so his Ks per nine are almost 7. His ERA is 3.3. Blake's best pitch, by far, without question, is his cutter. That's what he beat Southeastern with, the number 1 ranked team in the country. That's what he beat St. Thomas with, the number 8th ranked team in the country, or at least at the time. And that when that's on, he can beat anybody in the country. He's that good. When it's not on, he can lose to anybody in the country. And it's so far this year, he's been very, very, very good. and his cutter has been his best pitch. He does a really good job at mixing speeds, hitting locations, hitting spots.
First man that Blake will face today, the leadoff hitter, shortstop Shane Nixon. First pitch, chopper to his shortstop counterpart. Luther gets himself in a good position to throw after making the catch. And a 6-3 putout for the first out of the inning. Nice job by Brendan Luther.
Good start there for Blake. One pitch, one out. He's not a big strikeout guy. He's going to get a lot of contact and a lot of weak contact when he's going good.
Second batter, catcher Jaden Babiuk. That pitch misses just off the outside edge. Ball one. Nixon, Babiuk, Thompson, Nixon, Mertz, Resnick, Ramirez, Reynolds, and Nelson. The batting order for Valley City State. Swing and a miss. Nice movement and location on that pitch.
That's that cutter that I was just talking about. You know, it looks just like a fastball, but right at the very end, it takes a left turn.
He'll add one to the pitch. Flashed down by Grant. Chopped on the ground to Trent Richardson at first base, who will make the play. So just a couple of pitches thrown and a couple of outs in the game already for Blake Crippen.
Yep, just the fastball on the inside corner.
Blake, not a big guy, 5'10", 175, the junior out of Hillsboro, Oregon. So again, congratulations to him for winning his second consecutive NSAA Pitcher of the Week honor. Here's second baseman Adam Thompson. Called strike one as Crippen works ahead. Thompson had a two-run home run that gave his team the lead in the seventh inning. But Bellevue came back on solo home runs in the ninth and then in the 10th to win it by a score of 5-4. That one does not feel good. Fouled directly down on the top of his foot.
Yep, cutter in on the hands. Got jammed and hit it right off his foot. Yeah, those don't feel good whatsoever.
So the cutter to a right-handed batter is going to be coming in on him as opposed to a left-hander where it's breaking away. Here's the next pitch from Crippen. Swung on and missed off the outside edge of the plate. The strikeout, the first of the game for Blake Crippen, and it's a very quick 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the first inning. After one inning of play, Bellevue Bruins 1, Valley City State Vikings 0.
That's a good start. That's what the start Bellevue needed in this game after fighting really hard and pulling out the one in game one.
All right, we've got a couple of text messages in the queue. The first one from an Omaha area code, simply, let's go. Short and sweet, like that. Oops, there, my fat finger pushed the wrong button. Sorry about that. Good win, Parker. Congrats from Bozeman, Montana. And go Bruins for game number 2. Our Hubba Hubba battle continues. Hubba Hubba, game 2 Hubbas. Free Hubbas for everyone. Sans the other team. All right, glad you guys are with us again out in Bakersfield. And that's something somebody wants me to pay a bill, I guess, on that text. All right, we won't read that one. Back to the mound goes starting pitcher Daniel Alvarado for inning number 2. Temperature in the lower to mid 50s today. Just a gentle breeze. In fact, right now, looking at the flag out in the flagpole out in the center field, it's just hanging pretty limply. Limply, is that a word? We'll make it one, an adverb. Sure. Limply. It's not moving, so we like it that way here when it's March in Nebraska. 54 degrees to be exact, as it's a little after 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time as we get going here with the top of the second inning. Third baseman Nick Grade will start it off. Both teams had 11 hits in game number 1, but runs were at a premium. 5 for the Bruins, 4 for the Vikings. Ball 1 on the first offering. Nick went hitless in game number 1, was on base a couple of times with walks, however, and scored one of the Bellevue runs. 2-0 the count on the Bruins' third sacker. That one's hit hard to left field. If it's up high enough, it's gone. And it is, banging off the batting cage beyond the left field fence. Nick Grade with the solo home run, the third home run of the day for the Bellevue Bruins.
Yeah, that was a laser. He hit that ball extremely hard. And yeah, like you said, not quite sure if it was actually going to get enough to get out of here. He hit it so hard. It had a lot of topspin on it, too. It just kind of dove really hard once it got over the left field fence.
Nick and Trad Richardson had been tied with the team lead with 4 home runs, but now Nick takes the lead with his 5th of the year. Here's Trad Richardson, first baseman. Fooled a little bit on that breaking ball, strike 1.
I think he wanted to tie the home run lead.
Back
with that
again.
one, yeah.
And we should also mention that Jake Lacey was part of that tie at 4, too. He got a dinger in game number 1, so now it's Nick Grade all alone with 5 home runs. Although Trad Richardson on a home run hitting streak had 3 consecutive games with him, but didn't have any in game number 1. Fouled out of play, 0-2 the count. Richardson 1 for 5 in game number 1 today. Hit in the air, out to shallow right field. Second baseman going back, right fielder coming in. It'll be the second baseman, Adam Thompson, making the play for the first out of the inning. A sky-high fly ball.
Yeah, it was a break ball. He just missed it. Just got underneath it and hit it really, really high.
Next up for the Bruins, designated hitter Eric Anderson. Anderson, the hero of game number 1. Pinch hit, solo home run. The margin of victory for the Bruins. First pitch from Alvarado, a breaking ball outside.
You have my number. Why don't you give me a call? Let's work on the
Called strike, 1-1.
Oh, yeah, I think
Anderson hitting .241 on the year coming into today's contest. His average will go up a few points with that home run. That one skips away from the catcher. Now 2-1 to count.
yes. Same to you guys. Thank you. And our baseball team just went up 2-0.
Yeah, like I said in game 1, I think Coach Monlux is still searching for somebody to take control of that DH role now that, especially now that Carter Barnett, is out for an unknown period of time with his hamstring.
Breaking ball to the zone for a called strike 2. Alec Ackerman had a few at-bats early in the season, but now surgery has taken him off the roster for the Bruins of availability. Connor Barnett recovering, so Eric Anderson in that spot. Mathieu Sirois, Houston Fogelstrom, a couple other guys contending as well to get some at-bats in that spot. Oh, Alec right behind us here. Hello, Alec. Foul out of play. That right arm in a sling and all kinds of fun stuff there.
Doing good, though. Doing good.
Good. Back for next year, hopefully, right? How long of a rehab before you can start throwing again?
Probably 6 to 8 months, I'd say.
6 to 8 months on that time frame. We'll look forward to that. An All-American player for the Bruins last year. As the walk to Eric Anderson, we'll have him trot down to first base and bring to the bait Drew Staley, Bellevue's second baseman. Drew had a couple of hits in game number 1 today. Scored a run, drove in a run.
He was splitting time with C.J. Townsend earlier on in the year. I think they were just trying to figure out, who would take control as there's a ball up. Who would take control of second base and, that part of the lineup. And Drew, to his credit, kind of has taken control, and, it's kind of his job right now at this point.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball in the zone, 1-1. Drew hitting .306. He's raised his average quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. He was down near .250 or so. But a good series against Viterbo and a good start here against Valley City. It's the V opponent part of the order, Viterbo and Valley City for the Bruins.
Drew looks really comfortable at the plate. Yeah, he looks like he's just seeing it really well right now.
Alvarado, the long hold, and now the step throw over to first base. Anderson back in plenty of time.
Yeah, Alvarado, when he does a leg lift, he's almost like a read guy. So I'm curious if, what he does, if somebody takes off when he gets to.
Staley hits the ball in the air to left field, but right at the left fielder coming in a couple of steps, Christian Ramirez will make the play for the second out of the inning.
I'm curious what he does, when he gets to the apex of his leg lift. If somebody were to take off, is he able to just go over to first, or is he already thinking about going home.
Back to the top of the order for the Bruins, second time through for Kanta Kobayashi. Takes a breaking pitch inside.
Because to me, just watching him, he looks predetermined on if he's going to pick and if he's going to pitch when he does his leg lift.
Kanta from Tokyo, Japan. Congrats to the Japanese team for winning the World Baseball Classic earlier this week. I'm sure he and Takumi Maeno happy about that. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Chopped on the ground to second. Thompson will go over to first to retire Kobayashi and the Bruins in the top of the second inning. Bellevue picks up 1 run on the solo home run by Nick Grade. And at the end of 1.5, the Bellevue Bruins 2, the Valley City State Vikings nothing.
In other conference action, Dakota State beat Mayville 3-0. So us and Dakota State are both 5-0.
All right, Bill Mullins informs me that in other action in North Star play, the other two teams tied for the top spot. It's tied no more. Dakota State defeated Mayville State today, so that means Dakota State and Bellevue are alone at the top of the conference standings with perfect 5-0 records. Mayville State now 4-1. Valley City, with their loss today earlier to the Bruins, dropped to 1-4 in conference play.
That'd be awesome. Man, it'd be great to get 27 runs.
Again, if you'd like to be part of our broadcast, you can send along a text message to us. Our Hubba Hubba battle continues. No more Hubba Hubbas, but yes, great job, Parker McMahon. Trad Richardson and Jake Lacey, Montana proud. Oh, Big Sky country.
We do fly there?
Montana has another nickname, too, I discovered when I was up there 2 years ago. Is it the Jewel State? I think it's the Jewel State, if I'm not mistaken, because of all the mining up there. All right, right fielder Drew Nixon will start off the second inning. Nice fastball off the outer edge of the plate from Blake Crippen, a 0-1 count. Crippen retired the Vikings in order in the bottom of the first inning. Took a little something off that one. Here comes Nick Grade on the charge. Throw to first in time to retire Drew Nixon.
Yeah, it looked just like a changeup. Started on the outside corner, ran away. Good change of speed right there. Fantastic change of speed.
So the left side of the Bellevue defense, Bellevue infants, retired both Nixon brothers. Their first time up in this second game. Here's center fielder Dustin Mertz. Nice movement on that pitch for a called strike one. Mertz was the losing pitcher in game number 1, coming on in relief. That pitch stays up. Chop foul over near a group of the Viking players standing just outside of the dugout. They had to scramble a little bit. Head coach Casey Olney in his 18th season at the helm of the Valley City State baseball program. That one's swung on, and a strikeout will be called. Didn't hit the bat. Tried to check his swing, did Dustin Murph, but popped out of the glove of Logan Grant. He'll tag him. Second strikeout of the game. 2 unassisted officially on the putout there.
Again, that's his cutter. Just
tied him up.
Came right in on his hands. Couldn't hold up.
Riley Resnick gets the start in game number 2 in the DH spot. Riley did not appear in game number 1. So his first appearance of the day, obviously. Foul out of play. Resnick wearing number 51. People of my generation usually think of 51 as the football number, worn by Dick Butkus. Or did Ichiro wear 51 too?
Ichiro was 51.
Yeah, baseball side Ichiro. So 2 famous 51s. Riley Resnick trying to get some familiarity too.
Ichiro actually asked Randy Johnson permission to wear 51 for Mariners.
Oh, very good. Randy Johnson prior to him. 1-2 the count on Resnick. Blake Crippen working quickly. Breaking ball. That one's flared foul up near the batting cages down the first base side.
Yeah, that probably wasn't as good location-wise as where Blake wanted it. It was up a little bit. I'm sure he wanted it down on the back foot.
Resnick batting 125 on the season.
Just like that.
They'll appeal to first base. They say no swing.
That's where he wanted that first pitch to be. That's a good pitch. That's a very well-executed pitch. He just didn't get the swing.
The same location as the jam job that struck out Dustin Mertz, the previous batter. And there's another strikeout. Back-to-back Ks, the third strikeout of the game for starting pitcher Blake Crippen as he shuts down the Vikings in order once again. 3 up, 3 down through the first 2 innings. The Bellevue Bruins lead it by a score of 2-0. 7-inning game number 2. Game number 1, the scheduled 9-inning the Treasure State. Thank you. The Treasure State is Montana, not the Jewel State. All those Montana natives. All right, a couple people texted in the Treasure State. All right, so everybody's familiar with their Montana nicknames now. And if you didn't know it before, you know it now. 2, 3, 4, part of the order for the Bruins coming up in the top of the 3rd inning. Luther, Lacey, and Grant. And again, if you weren't with us for game number 1, this series supposed to have been played in Valley City, North Dakota, but snow and cold weather up there forced the movement here. Bellevue will be at home this weekend. Bellevue will be at home next weekend against Dickinson State. They'll be at home the next weekend against Waldorf. And then on the road at Presentation. And then finishing up conference play against Mayville State and Dakota State. So a lot of home series for the Bruins this year because of weather considerations further north. Brendan Luther will get it started. Breaking ball stays upstairs. Brendan with a walk and scored the run. First run of the game on the sacrifice fly by Logan Grant. That one's opposite field, base hit. Oh, a good start to the top of the 3rd inning. Second consecutive inning, the Bruins have had their leadoff guy on. And now stepping up, left fielder Jake Lacey. Lacey doubled his first time up.
I was just saying, let's see if Bellevue can get a couple scratch together some hits in this inning. Instead of just relying on solo home runs, let's see if they can't put something together.
Alvarado delivers. Popped up on the infield, right side. Long way to go. Right fielder coming in, second baseman going back. It'll be the right fielder. Drew Nixon had to go a long way looking up into the sun, but gets there in time for the first out of the inning. As the day goes on, more and more the sun will shift over into the eyes of the right side of the field. They'll give it another half hour to an hour, and right field becomes kind of a tough sun field at John Stella Field at Brown Park. Here's Logan Grant. Grant with a big swing his first time up, drove the ball to the warning track, just missed a 3-run home run. He'll settle for 1 run on the sacrifice fly. 0-1 the count on Grant right now. How'd that not hit him? 1-1.
He was trying.
He stood his ground. Somehow the baseball, he must have his anti-baseball deodorant on him today because it just missed his body completely. Throw over to first base. Luther goes back in standing up.
That move looks like Alvarado's. That looks like his best move.
Yeah, we haven't, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of, he was trying to be deceptive and, it.
Blocked up nicely by the catcher, Jaden Babiuk.
Luther was able to read it fairly easily, so I wouldn't be surprised after seeing a couple times thrown over and a couple moves if the running game gets going.
Now just basically the quick step throw. Grant back in. Lefty-lefty matchup here. 3 of the first 4 Bellevue batters hit from the left side. That one hits the outside corner. The set at the belt. And the pitch. Grant, one hopper to second baseman. Thompson goes to second. The relay throw is not in time. Shane Nixon, the shortstop, had a little trouble getting the ball out of his glove, so they kick over the lead runner on the fielder's choice for Logan Grant. And Takumi Maeno will come into the game as the courtesy runner once again for the Bellevue Bruins.
Give Logan credit of really hustling down the line to stay out of that double play to keep the inning alive.
Next up, right fielder Anthony Lind. Got fooled on a little off-speed breaking ball. All breaking balls are off-speed, I guess. That one a little extra speed taken off.
Yeah, that looked
by
like
Alvarado.
that just looked like a changeup that kind of ran down and away.
Lind drives it into left field. A one-hopper through the left side of the infield, so the Bruins have 2 base runners on with 2 out. Courtesy of that single by Lind. Third baseman, Nick Grade. Home run his last time up.
Now batting, number 31.
Let's see what Nick has in his bat this plate appearance. You can just see the shadows starting to creep up on the third base line. Alvarado will step off. Grant at second, Lind at first, Grade at the plate. Swing and a miss. That tied Nick up inside.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell what pitch that was. But it looked down. It was down, and he was just ready to go and just swung over it.
Probably a changeup. Let's see what the next offering is here from Alvarado. The runner's on the go. That's going to be a balk. A nice job at second base by Logan Grant. He forced the pitcher to kind of get himself corkscrewed on the mound. And on the balk, both base runners will advance 90 feet.
Yeah, he picked his leg up. And that's kind of what I was talking about with that runner at first base. He went right away in first movement, and the pitcher was looking at him, and he just put his foot right back down. He didn't disengage. He didn't do a spin move.
Alvarado began his move toward home plate. You can't stop it. Try to get the base runner. So swing and a miss by Nick Grade. Let's see if the Bruins can cash in better in game 2 than they did in game number 1 with runners in scoring position. The Bruins left 13 on. I think it was 13.
14.
14, excuse me. Once I run out of fingers, it's hard for me to count.
Please don't take your suction shoes off.
Too cold for that anyway. Here's the pitch to Grade. That one way wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Grade out of Kennewick, Washington. Another one of those guys from the Pacific Northwest. Hit in the air to left center field. 2 outfielders on the run. They have a way to go. They will not get there as it lands behind the fence. A home run. A 3-run home run for Nick Grade. Back-to-back jacks for Grade on his 2 plate appearances in this game.
Yeah, the first one was a laser that he hit out to left field, and that one was your typical home run to left center. He got underneath it, hit it really high, and it just kept going and kept going and kept going.
About 360 feet to that part of the fence out there. So 3 more RBIs for Grade. The next Bellevue batter, first baseman Trad Richardson. So now I've got to change the stat sheet again. Nick Grade now with 6 home runs and 22 runs batted in on the season. Strike called on Richardson. Alvarado from the windup. That one misses away. I had a very similar leg brace to the one that Daniel Alvarado is wearing after my first surgery 100 years ago. Back to the screen on the foul ball. At the time, they were called Lenox Hill braces after Lenox Hill Hospital in New York. Some surgeon developed that, so that was around 1980, which, again, is before you were born, so that pitch inside. Here's the pitch to the Bruins first baseman. A little nubber off the bat over to Thompson at second. He's been very busy on defense this entire doubleheader, and he will retire Richardson for the second time today on the ground out. 3 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. After 2.5, the Bellevue Bruins 5, the Valley City Vikings nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of the inning I wanted to see from Bellevue. They got a couple hits, able to get guys over. Yeah, it ended up with a big home run, but they were able to push some across. They didn't rely on just one home run or a walk and errors, and they made those runs happen.
Blake Crippen back to the mound for the Bruins. It's been the Crippen show on defense and the Grade show on offense. Oh, Nick Grade. Hey, both these guys, the reigning NSAA Player and Pitcher of the Week, putting on a show here today in game number 2.
During their winning streak, Bellevue's left 101 runners on base in 93 innings.
101 runners left on base in 93 innings, despite Bellevue winning the last 11 games in a row. Thanks again to Bill Mullins, sports information guy at Bellevue University. So the Bruins have a problem, but they don't have a problem if they're winning games. So any way you look at it, here we go at the bottom of the 4th inning. Left fielder Christian Ramirez will lead things off against southpaw Blake Crippen. Crippen waits till he gets the signal that he wants. Little chopper to short. Brendan Luther again on the charge. Gets it in the air on the second hop. Picked it first by Richardson. 6-3 on the play for the first out of the inning. Another nice job of charging the ball by the Bruins shortstop.
Yeah, Luther's so good over there. He's so comfortable, and he can make almost any play there is that needs to be made at short.
Ryan Reynolds, the first baseman, steps up. First pitch swinging. That's going to find the gap in left center field. Kanta Kobayashi plays the one hop off the fence, but striding and now sliding into second base. Ryan Reynolds with the first hit of this game for the Valley City Vikings.
Yeah, that was a slider that just came right back over the middle of the plate. Ryan Reynolds was able to sit on it pretty well and hit it in the left center gap.
Number 5, Torrey.
9-hole hitter Torrey Nelson, the third baseman, steps in. Bill Crippen retired the first 7 in a row before giving up the first hit. Bunt up the first base line. That's going to be foul territory. Torrey Nelson trying to bunt for a base hit, but that bunt went about 70 or 80 feet in the air before landing in foul territory.
It almost looked like he was trying to push it towards second or towards right center where Drew was playing, trying to get it right past Crippen.
Staley, the Bruins second baseman, trying to hold the base runner Reynolds a little closer to second base, so there is a little bit of a gap between first and second. Lays off that pitch, 1-1. .54 degrees, mostly sunny day, very little breeze. A comfortable March afternoon for college baseball. Blocked up by Grant. Did a nice job on that pitch that first hit about 2 feet in front of home plate. Took that one off the shoulder pad of the chest protector.
Yeah, that's a very good job by Grant by keeping it in front of him.
Grant sets up on the inner half of the plate. Let's see if Crippen goes there. He does. The bunt attempt, the throw behind. The runner breaks for third. The throw is not in time. So that'll be a stolen base for Ryan Reynolds. He strayed off too far. Grant with a strong throw to second, but by the time the Bruins completed the relay, Reynolds was at third base.
Yeah, he was going immediately on the throw. I mean, in that situation, you kind of have no other choice. I mean, risk going to third and getting out rather than trying to just get back to the base and getting out. So in that situation, he made the right play and go to third. It was a bang-bang play, and he was safe.
No, one out, runner at third. Let's see if the Vikings can cash their first run of the game here. Bellevue playing their defense at regular depth. Foul back to the screen. No, Nelson's job here, just try to make contact to some middle infielder or beyond.
Yeah, let's see if Crippen is okay with giving up a run here.
Or if he's just going to battle for the strikeout ahead in the count. Backdoor breaking ball, the strike three called. And now 2 outs in the inning. And Valley City State will go back to the top of the order. Shortstop, Shane Nixon.
That's good to see. That's a good breaking pitch, good location. Obviously, he was fooled on it. And Crippen with a big strikeout to keep him at 0.
Second time through the order for the Vikings against Blake Crippen. That one misses inside.
Yeah, slider down and in. It was a good location. He just didn't swing.
A few fans have made the trip down from North Dakota, sitting on the Valley City State side of the field. Kudos to them. There's a called strike. About an 8-hour drive or so between these two cities. 1-1 pitch. That one's hit in the air to center field. It has some depth. Kata Kobayashi going to the warning track. Now he will settle there, and he'll make the catch to resire the side. Nixon gave it a drive, but comes up a little bit short. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. 3 innings in the book. The Bellevue Bruins 5, Valley City State nothing.
Yeah, it looked like he hit it just off the end of the bat. Conte did a really good job at tracking it down, finding the wall, and seeing how much room he had.
Coming up on the halfway point of this 7-inning contest, the second game of the doubleheader, as we head to the top of the 4th inning for the Bruins. Anderson, Staley, and Kobayashi, the first 3 scheduled hitters. Daniel Alvarado, the starter, going back to the mound. Game times tomorrow a little later in the day, 5 o'clock the scheduled starting time. Omaha South High School, which also utilizes this field, has some games scheduled here Saturday earlier in the day. So 5 o'clock is what we hope for the starting time. If you can't find us on right at 5 o'clock, it meant those high school games went a little bit long. So stick with us. We'll be on the air about 5 to 10 minutes before the start of both games tomorrow once again.
Eric Anderson.
Designated hitter Eric Anderson steps up. Lined hard but foul up the left field side. Head coach Dwayne Mollix now heading down the third base coach's box. Good thing he wasn't there earlier. He'd been in the way of that one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped up in the air to shallow center field. Mertz coming in from center. Right fielder Nixon coming in. It won't be caught by either of them. And a double for Eric Anderson.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on. Give Eric Anderson a lot of credit. He was hustling, running extremely hard out of the box, and was able to get to second base. That ball landed maybe 20 feet in the outfield. It hit extremely high, and the second baseman just stood there and watched the outfielders come and get it, and neither one of them could get there.
So a leadoff double in this situation for Anderson as Drew Staley steps in an RBI opportunity. Breaking ball stays away.
The hitter, Bellevue's hitters so far this game look so much more comfortable than they did in game one. They look like they're seeing it a lot better. Their approach is better. It's really nice to see the difference in how much more comfortable they look.
Check of the runner back to second base by Alvarado. That one's lined hard to left field, and it will drop in front of Ramirez, but Anderson having to wait to see if it was going to be caught. Then he tried to run, kind of tripped over his own feet, so no base advance there. So runners at first and second. Nobody out as we go back to the top of the order. That's one of those I'm sure his teammates will not kid him about at all in the dugout when he gets back.
Right, Sally?
Oh, we will.
Sally agreed that they will be giving him a hard time.
Here's Kanta Kobayashi, still looking for his first hit of the afternoon. Down low. Kanta named a preseason All-America candidate for the NAIA. Alec Ackerman as well, but with his injury, he won't be playing. Alvarado to the plate. Kobayashi has to get his head out of the way of that one. He showed bunt, then pulled away.
I think Kanta needs to be a little bit more patient. He's been very antsy in these two games today so far, I feel like. And when he's...
he listened to you and took that pitch?
Yeah. When he's patient, that's what I was looking for. When he's patient, his swings, he's barreling up the baseball.
Alvarado comes set. At the belt, here's his pitch. That one curveball outside. 3-1 the count on the Bruins leadoff hitter. Two guys on, nobody out. We're in the top of the fourth inning. After Bellevue won the opener 5-4. Lined hard to the first baseman, but it's going to turn into a double play and almost a triple play. It is a triple play, as Eric Anderson slow to get back to the bag at second. So score that one, a line drive out to the first baseman, Ryan Reynolds, who then tagged the base runner, Drew Staley, and then threw to the shortstop, Nixon, who stepped on the bag before Anderson did. A rare triple play, but the Valley City State Vikings turned it with two on and nobody out.
If you're Drew in that situation, there's nothing you can do. Like, you're into your secondary, and he hits a line drive right at the first baseman who's standing right next to you, and you get tagged out. If you're Eric Anderson, that can't happen.
Right.
Plain and simple, that can't happen. You walk back to the bag, and you get thrown out on a force out for a triple play. Coach Monlux is probably going to come unglued at him in the dugout, to be honest with you. It looked like he was yelling at him as he was crossing the field. For every reason that should have happened. Coach Monlux has every reason to yell at him.
Right.
He has every reason to be upset. That absolutely cannot happen.
We were teasing Eric earlier for stumbling on that last play. That's kind of a comical situation, but the last one was not a comical. That's
No.
he made a mistake, bad base running mistake that needs to be corrected. All right, here we go at the bottom of the fourth inning. Second time through the order for the Vikings. Jaden Babiuk, the catcher, will lead things off. He grounded out his first time up in this one. Tries to slap bunt his way on. Comes up empty. Strike one the call.
Yeah, it's like, I get what he was trying to do, but I'm not sure about the execution. He was probably a good 6 inches away from the baseball.
Babiuk, a Canadian native out of St. Albert, Alberta. That's hard to say, St. Albert, Alberta.
Crippen really wanted that pitch. He showed emotion on the mound, which is what you're not supposed to do.
Ground ball and through the right side. Babiuk went down and got that one between the knee and the ankles on height-wise and drove it into right field for the second hit of the game.
Yeah, it was just hitting right in the middle of between Trad and Drew in the 4-hole.
Courtesy runner coming on for the catcher, Zach Veneman. He did those duties in game number 1. Back at it again here in game number 2. Second baseman, Adam Thompson. Swing and a miss. The pitch tailing away from him. Got a right-hander throwing in the Valley City bullpen. Down low, 1-1. We've got a good look down the third base side to the bullpens, but the Bellevue bullpen on the first base side, there's 2 buildings and a net in between our view between here and there. Throw to first base, runner back in time. Most of the Valley City State roster, as you would expect from the upper Midwest and Canada. On the outside corner, nice location, 1-2.
Yeah, it looks like Keaton Clark is back in the bullpen warming up.
We saw him for a third or 2/3 of an inning in game number 1. Chopper on the ground. Luther has to wait. Quick toss to second for 1. That was hit too slowly for the Bruins to have a good opportunity to turn the double play, but they do get the leading runner. 6-4, retiring Veneman at second. Thompson reaching on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite hit hard enough for Drew to be able to make the strong enough throw to get there.
Here's Drew Nixon. Drew Nixon and Shane Nixon from Toronto. First pitch from Crippen, ball 1. Drew, the senior. That one's sliced foul out of play. Oh, they must be twins. I'm sorry. I should have noticed that earlier. Both of them seniors from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Pitch stays up. Two and 1 the count. On the cleanup hitter. Backdoor breaking ball, nicely located, 2-2. Down low, full count upcoming. Let's see if the runner at first will be on the move with just 1 out, or if they're going to play it conservatively, down by 5.
Wouldn't be surprised if Blake picks here.
Good call. Again, the throw over to first base. A little closer play that time, but Thompson able to get back.
Blake's move to first base is fantastic. He's got one of the best moves there is.
Hit in the air to center field. Kobayashi backtracks. Now stops just shy of the warning track. We've had a couple that have been close for both teams today. Second out of the inning on that long fly ball.
Yeah, it was a fastball on the outside corner. Just ran away just off the end of the bat. Again, that's not complete barrel. If it was barrel, it would have been out.
It'd still be going.
He didn't get all the barrel, and Blake's ball moves just enough to where he misses barrel.
Dustin Mertz steps in for the Vikings, chases a high fastball. Six hits for the Bruins so far, only 1 for the Vikings. That one's hit deep to center field. Kobayashi going back. He won't be able to make a play on this one as it bangs off the hitting background. A 2-run home run for Dustin Mertz. Gets the Vikings on the board.
Yeah, going back to that last one, that was not barrel. This one was barrel. That's just the difference, you know. When Blake misses barrel, he gets outs. And when his stuff runs over the middle of the plate like that last one did, and he gets barrel, he gets hit extremely hard.
Now batting number 51.
So 2 runs in on the inning, 2 outs. The batter now designated hitter, Riley Resnick. Crippen comes back. Nice little tail on that pitch away from the right-handed batter to get ahead.
Yeah, that's a very good changeup right there.
Curveball, again a nice location. Now 0-2 the count. And quickly, Resnick retired on 3 pitches for the strikeout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts in the game for Blake Crippen. But Valley City able to come through with 2 runs on 2 hits. The big blast, the home run by Dustin Mertz. There were no errors and nobody left on base. 4 innings in the book. The Bellevue Bruins 5, the Valley City State Vikings 2.
Now, Bellevue can't stop scoring here. You know, it's only a 3-run game. Yes, there's only 3 innings left, but that doesn't mean you can stop scoring. Blake's pitching really well. He's pitching very, very well. But that being said, it's still only a 3-run game. Anything can happen in 3 innings.
And coming on to pitch for the Vikings, Keaton Clark, number 31, the right-hander, will come in. He threw in game number 1. He had a third of an inning in between Magnuson and Mertz. So a second, 2 games, 2 opportunities to pitch for Keaton Clark. Now the 6th appearance of the year for Clark, as he goes back to work. Excuse me, 5th appearance for Clark. Averages about an inning and appearance, all of them in relief. First man he will face for the Bruins, shortstop Brendan Luther.
Now up to the plate, number 24, Brendan Luther.
Here's the first pitch from Clark. Low and away, ball 1. And now that one grazes Luther, so he'll trot down to first base. He's been up 3 times and on 3 times today. A walk, a hit, and now a hit by pitch. Stepping in, left fielder Jake Lacey. One more text in the queue here from our friends up in Montana. Keaton Clark from Great Falls, Montana, had a chance to meet his parents. Great kid and great family. So those baseball connections all across the country. Clark in to pitch here with a man on. Wide sweeping breaking ball in the opposite batter's box. Ball 1 the count.
Let's see if there's action here with Luther taking off.
Chopper on the ground to short. Nixon to Thompson. Not in time at first. So the Vikings get the leading guy on the play there. On the 6-4 put out at second, Lacey advancing to first on the fielder's choice.
Again, that's another fastball in the outside corner that we're trying to pull and not take it the way you're supposed to. Well, my English is great right now, isn't it?
Second game's of the doubleheader, you know. Sometimes, the brain kind of wears down a little bit. Logan Grant steps in for his third opportunity. Sacrifice fly in the first, fielder's choice in the third. Outside. Keaton listed as a 5'11". Runner goes. That one gets past the catcher all the way to the screen. It'll be a stolen base for Jake Lacey as he was running with the pitch.
Yeah, it's kind of what I thought Luther would have done, on that pitch that Lacey hit, but Lacey ended up doing it on this one. So we'll see if Logan can pick him up.
Kind of a big gap in right center field. Foul out of play. As Mertz, the center fielder, shading a little bit opposite field. Right fielder Nixon, pretty much straight away, I guess.
Yeah, they're shading.
Little chopper out in front of the mound. Clark able to field it. His throw to first base is just in time to get Logan Grant.
Yeah, the outfielders, the center fielder and left fielder were shading Logan to hit the other way, but the right fielder was playing him more straight up, which usually you don't see that very often. You don't see a major gap like that in the outfield.
So now 2 outs in the inning. The runner advancing to third, Jake Lacey. The batter, right fielder, Anthony Lind. Strike called as the curveball clips the outside edge. Lind got real hot on the Florida trip, batted over 500 there, and has come back hitting well in Omaha too. Line drive, and it's a base hit and an RBI for Anthony Lind. He's going to turn the corner at first. He will go to second base as that ball goes all the way to the wall. Just a rocket line drive over the head of the shortstop. And Anthony Lind gives the Bruins a 6-2 lead.
That's good to see, a big 2-out hit with a guy in scoring position. And that's really the only thing that's been missing today from this offense.
Trying to keep the inning alive, third baseman Nick Grade. What has Nick done this game? Oh, a solo home run and a 3-run home run. Not too much. Going for the hat trick here. Lays off that pitch. Again, they say it clips the outside corner. 0-1. Four runs batted in this game. Breaking by maybe, not quite. One hops the fence. And Nick Grade, a 3 extra base hit game, 2 home runs and an RBI double. The Bruins third baseman showing off those NSAA Player of the Week honors. He might be in line for back-to-backs like Blake Crippen has earned Pitcher of the Week honors.
I think he wants the back-to-back.
Here's Trad Richardson at bat. Pitch up tight, ball 1. Breaking ball, called strike.
If Trad can just get a ball in the outside corner, take it basically right to the scoreboard, and that'll easily score another run right here.
That big gap again on both the infield and outfield on that right center side. And that's exactly where he goes. Good call, Chris. Here comes Lind around third. He will score easily as Trad Richardson delivers an RBI. So back-to-back RBIs by Bruin hitters Lind, Grade, and Richardson. Add one more total to the Bruins score.
Yeah, so far, the Valley City's defense is daring us to hit it to the right side. Especially with right-handed hitters, they're daring. The second baseman still hasn't moved over. So as long as we can have good back control and hit it to the right side, hit the base, if they're going to pitch us outside, they're giving us a base hit. We just have to have good back control as that ball's up for ball 1 and take it to that side.
Eric Anderson at the plate. He had a double his last time up.
12 straight innings with double-digit hits.
Again in tight. Snap throw down to first. Not in time.
12 straight games with double-digit hits.
Thank you, Bill. Now with that base hit by Richardson, the 12th straight game, the Bruins have had 10 or more hits in the game. That streak started down in Florida, came back with them here to Nebraska. There's a nicely located breaking ball from Clark.
This is more of the scoreboard that you want to see as a fan of a Bellevue fan. You know, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and now 3 in the fifth.
8 runs on the board in total. That one's flied out to right field. Nixon, the right fielder, coming on a couple of steps. He'll make the catch to retire the side. Drew Nixon on the receiving end. That stops the streak of 3 consecutive RBI hits. But the Bellevue Bruins with 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. 8-2 our score as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, this is more of the game that Coach Munlux wants to be a part of. Not the, don't get me wrong, he loves the 5-4, 8-inning games. But this is, you know, we're putting pressure on the other team constantly with good at-bats and good base running for the most part. And then Crippen just doing his thing on the mound, keeping the offense, the opposing offense under control.
One more text in the queue, another one from Southern California. Go Bruins! Watching from Chula Vista. Keep up the good broadcast and a heart emoji too. Thanks again for joining with us for both ends of today's doubleheader. That's the family of Alex Salicio. Alex was up here a little bit ago enjoying the heater behind our backs here, but he's back out braving the elements down in the Bruins dugout after working, 6 innings in game number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went 6.
Here we go with the bottom of the 5th inning. Left fielder Christian Ramirez will lead things off. Ramirez a ground out his first time up today. Ramirez had a hit and a run scored in game number 1. First pitch, strike 1 call on the knees. Crippen does a good job of working ahead of the hitters. Now ahead, hey, nice little tap dance over there by Casey Olney, getting out of the way of that ground ball.
Let's see if Crippen goes to that inside cutter one more time.
Foul out of play. Looked more like a fastball as Grant set up on the outside part of the plate.
I think he caught a little too much of the plate than Crippen wanted. I think he wanted it a little bit further off.
Blake comes into this inning with 50 pitches thrown. Another chopper fouled on the third base side. So pretty good number for 4 innings complete. 5 strikeouts under his belt. And no walks. Little chopper back to the mound. Blake handles it, will step to first and throw a strike to Trad Richardson. 1 away in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Number 8, 9 minutes.
6 infield outs, 2 outfield outs, and 5 strikeouts. The total thus far in the game. A little too tight, ball 1.
That was a good location, though.
A little too tight once again. 2-0 the count on Ryan Reynolds, the first baseman. Sorry, Ryan, forgot to introduce you. Big swing there on the 2-0 count. Comes up empty, 2-1.
Good changeup right there on a good fastball count.
Lined hard right field side. Fair ball into the corner. Reynolds rounding first. He'll pick up extra bases on this. He'll stop at second base. We've mentioned it a couple of times in our previous broadcast. This is not a triples kind of a ballpark. A lot of doubles, but triples are hard to get because the fences are not terribly far away.
Yeah, you got to get a hard right turn if you're hitting it down the right field line to get down in that corner for even a thought about triples.
So Reynolds on with his second hit of the game. Both of them doubles, so he's enjoying the afternoon in his second game. Third baseman Torrey Nelson, the 9-hole hitter, steps in. Breaking ball, that's On the infield, Drew Staley takes charge. He'll catch it for the second out of the inning.
Good job coming back by Crippen right there. After giving up a double, getting that very next out on the very next pitch.
Top of the order, shortstop, Shane Nixon. Chopper to third. Off the glove of Grade. So the Vikings will have runners at first and third on the E5 on the play.
I'm not sure if he knew how he wanted to field that baseball. Didn't know if he wanted to get over in front of it or if he needed to go and just kind of olay it one-handed, which is kind of what he did. So I think he was kind of caught in between on
exactly right. In between hops there, yeah.
How to go get that baseball.
So the inning stays alive for the catcher, Jaden Babiuk. And at third base, it's a reaction position. You got to, your first reaction is the one that's going to determine the play. So here's a ground ball to Luther. He'll go the short way to second base, and no harm done on the fielder's choice. So no runs on one hit. There was one error and 2 left on base. 5 innings in the book, 2 to go. Bellevue Bruins 8, Valley City Vikings 2.
Yeah, it was a good job by Crippen coming right back after that error of getting the very next guy to ground out.
After giving up the double, he got the next batter on one pitch. After the error, he gets the next batter on one pitch. So, good job.
We talk about momentum all the time, especially with the pitching staff. And, it's those little things, giving up or getting an out right after a double or a home run, getting an out right after an error. And it's little things like that, or a walk. They're all momentum killers. And he did a very good job, and that's what he's been successful at for the most part this year is when he gets into trouble, he's able to get himself out of it.
That's a sign of a good pitcher, not necessarily just all power. I'm going to throw this fastball right past you, but a smart pitcher, a pitcher who knows how to make pitches with stuff rather than just power.
Mm-hmm.
We had the pleasure of watching Elijah Johnson pitch last year for the Bruins, and he was a power pitcher who had the speed and he had the location. So you combine those two things. That's a rare commodity. Elijah going on to play some professional ball with the Lincoln Salt Dogs after graduating from Bellevue last year.
Yeah, he had the velo, he had the stuff, secondary stuff, off-speed stuff. He was just dominant.
Here's Drew Staley to lead things off in the 6th inning. Drew, a base hit his last time up. First pitch inside. Bellevue is 16-0 on the season when they have 10 or more hits in a game. Breaking ball, nice pitch by Keaton Clark, back on for his 2nd inning of work. When Bellevue has had less than 10 hits on the game, they're a record of 2-4. That one hits Drew in the backside. He'll get on base once again, this time on the hit by pitch. I don't know how many, let's see, where's Drew with hit by pitches on the season? I don't think we have it on this chart,
yeah,
but
I was looking for him
he's amongst the team leaders in that category.
Him and Luther have to be, fighting for that number 1 spot.
Here's Kante Kobayashi. The 2 wins the Bellevue had with less than 10 hits were against Oklahoma City University. 2 wins there. And then their losses were against Science and Arts of Oklahoma, 2 games, and 2 games against St. Thomas. Thank you once again to Bill Mullins, the co-sports information director at Bellevue University. Conte tries to bunt his way up the third base side.
Yeah, talk about Drew. That was his 8th hit by pitch. Leads the team. So, yeah, he's not afraid to get hit by a baseball. Him and Luther are probably the 2 best at it. They're not afraid to wear a pitch.
Clark comes set at the waist. Throw over to first base. Back easily is Drew Staley. Line hard. There's Conta's first hit of the afternoon, right back up the middle. Staley able to advance to second on the play. So the first two guys on in this top of the sixth inning. There's no 10-run rule in the 7-inning game. Bruins up by 6 here, so even if they put up a ton of runs in the inning, the game will go the full 7 as we look down to the bullpen and see more action for Valley City. Brendan Luther, shortstop, steps up. Down low. Brendan's been on each of the 3 times he's been up in this game. Has that barrel of the bat pointed toward the ground before the pitcher comes ready, then holds it up. Shows bunt, puts it up the third base side. Babiuk bounces out from behind the plate to pick it with his bare hand. Both base runners advance on the play as Brendan Luther picks up the sacrifice on the bunt.
I'm not so sure if that ball wasn't going to go foul or not, but at the same time, you know, in this situation, I think catcher was thinking we just need to get it out right here, so he decided to field it and make the out. Devin Cook is actually warming up down in the bullpen for Valley City.
Thank you, Chris. Jake Lacey steps in with 2 runners in scoring position. Jake hammers it hard down the left field line, and it is out of here once again. The Bruins with another home run, a 3-run home run for Jake Lacey. That's the 4th home run of the game for the Bruins.
It was another hanging breaking ball that he was able to get out in front on and drive to left field.
Well, the Bruins have brought out the home run sticks in this game number 2. That makes it an 11-2 score. And back out to the pitcher's mound goes head coach Casey Olney. He'll want to talk with his pitcher and infielders and maybe make a pitching change here. Is that what we got? It is. Coming into the game, number 25, Devin Cook for the Valley City Vikings.
Yeah, Devin, right-handed freshman pitcher. He's has 5 appearances, 6 innings. Sorry.
I hate it when the
He's given up 12 hits, 7 run, 5 of them earned. His strikeout per 9 is a 5.6, and his ERA is just over 7. So again, another freshman. We've seen a lot of good freshmen lately that's thrown against Bellevue. So maybe they can add him into. Maybe we can add him into the bunch of good young arms that Bellevue has seen this year.
Cook, a 5'10 freshman from Headingley, Manitoba. So again, we can wave the maple leaf flag for the new player coming into the game. And we've got a new catcher into the game as well. That is Caden Rosedeba behind the plate. We'll assume he'll come in for Jaden Babiuk. So Caden Rosedeba, a 6'4 freshman. Another Canadian from Strathclair, Manitoba.
Yeah, this is Caden's 8th game that he's appeared in. So, trying to get him some more playing time, you know, especially the young guys.
And to give Babiuk a little bit of a break, he caught both halves of this doubleheader to this point.
And they still have 2 more tomorrow, so yeah, they may be giving him the rest of the game off just to save his legs for tomorrow.
Trailing by 9 runs. All right, so Cook just about finished with his warm-up tosses. We may see Dwayne Monlex go to the bench as well with some pinch hitters for the Bruins. Logan Grant, the scheduled hitter for Bellevue. And it looks like Nathan Springer will come on as the pinch hitter.
Yeah, this is Springer's 9th game. This is his 6th at bat. He actually doesn't have a hit yet on the year, so hopefully he can break through right here.
5'11" junior. Hits the ball on the ground to third to throw across the diamond in time to retire Nathan. And that is the second out of the inning.
Springer's your ultimate team guy. I have a lot of respect for Springer. He will do whatever the coaches ask him to do. I mean, he's pitching now because he actually has some really good stuff as well.
Takumi Maeno will come on as the pinch hitter, hitting in place of Anthony Lynn. He too had grounded to third. Tough play this time. Throw is not handled by the first baseman. It'll be an infield single for Takumi Maeno, one of the fastest Bellevue guys on the squad. Legs out that infield single. A nice play on the pickup by Torrey Nelson, but first baseman Ryan Reynolds couldn't quite pick it out. And so the inning continues.
Yeah, it was just a short hop. Ryan couldn't quite handle it. It would have been a tough play either way.
Nick Grade back to the plate. As Nick, an awesome game at the plate. 2 home runs and an RBI double. 5 runs batted in on the day. Just about half of the Bruins total coming off the bat of Nick Grade. Chop foul. Dwayne Munlux with the play at the third base line. The bench on the other side giving him a hard time. He made the play, so fist bumps from a couple of the Valley City guys over there,
too. They're going to care about that play for the rest of the year.
At the top of the zone, the called strike 2. Grade, the sophomore out of Kennebec, Washington. Lays off that pitch. 2-2 the count. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. Blah, 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 blah. I got my tongue back in place here. Full count.
Look for motion here with a full count, 2 outs. They're not even going to hold him on here. He'll be taken off on the pitch.
Maeno on the run, a swing and a miss. So Nick Grade goes down for the first time today on the strikeout. Only a 3 for 4, 5 RBI day for Nick. 3 runs on the inning. The big hit, the home run from Jake Lacey. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, it's Bellevue 11, Valley City 2.
Let's see how efficient Crippen's going to be here in the next couple innings to possibly finish this game out. He's 62 pitches through 5 innings with 5 strikeouts so far. So let's see if he goes on the attack to get contact or if he's looking to rack up more strikeouts. So we'll see what kind of performance he goes in for these next couple innings.
A lot of defensive changes for the Bruins. We'll try to give those to all the guys that pinch hit. Look like they're going to stay in the game. Springer behind the plate. Mathieu Sirois in at first base. C.J. Townsend in at second base. And
Maeda in right.
All right.
And now in the catch, number 5, Nathan Springer.
In the bottom of the 6th inning, the heart of the Valley City order, 3-4-5. Second baseman Adam Thompson will lead things off. Thompson, the leading hitter on the season for Valley City. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Here's the first pitch of Blake Crippen, a called strike 1 on a fastball.
Good location.
Thompson had 3 hits in game number 1. Blake Crippen with 62 pitches coming into the 6th inning. A little chopper over the mound. Townsend has to hurry. He will not be able to make a play. Just hit it in exactly the right spot. Pitcher couldn't get there. Neither could the second baseman. So Adam Thompson picks up his first hit of this game, his fourth of the doubleheader.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It looked like Crippen could have got that, but I'm not sure if he thought it was foul or he kind of just gave up on it just a little bit and ended up being safe.
Sometimes it's hard coming on the downhill slope of that mound and having to go back and reach up to make the play.
It is. It looked like he even tried to get it with his bare hand, but yeah, guy was safe. So let's see if he can get a ground ball right here to even it out.
Drew Nixon, the batter. Pitch a little bit low. 2-0 the count on the cleanup hitter. Valley City trying to get their way back into this one. A long hill to climb, though, down by 9 with 2 innings to go. Bounced in front of Springer, keeps it in front, but can't quite control it. On the wild pitch, Adam Thompson advancing to second base.
That was a very good ball and dirt read. He was going right away. As soon as he saw the ball get away from Springer, he was taking off. This is a very good read.
So 3-0, down by 9. Let's see if Nixon is taking all the way here. On the walk. Runners will be at first and second. We've seen now a couple weeks in a row where Blake Crippen has got the 7-inning game. What's the logic behind starting him in the 7-inning game instead of the 9-inning game? Or is it just coach's preference?
I think it's just a preference. I think they like Selly starting out game 1. They probably think he's more conditioned right away for the 9. Not to say that Blake can't go 9, because I'm sure he can. But I think they're just preference of Selly starting the 9 inning.
Very good. Carter Dodd comes on as a pinch runner, replacing Drew Nixon. Dodd will be at first base. Dustin Mertz, the center fielder, at the bat. A chance to get his team a little bit closer. 2 on, no out. Swing and a miss. Lined. Luther, the shortstop, makes the play, and the Bruins turn it into a double play. Luther covering some territory, and then the toss to Townsend at second. And on the double play, now 2 outs in the inning.
That was great. CJ was anticipating him catching that baseball. He didn't wait to see if he caught it before he went to second base. He was already on second base when he caught the baseball. That way, Brendan didn't have to think at all. When he caught it, he just knew he'd get the ball to second base for the out, for the double play.
The batter, the designated hitter, Riley Resnick. Resnick 0 for 2. Crippen starts him off with a fastball called strike. Resnick struck out swinging each of his 2 times up today. Snap throw to first, a runner back in time. Resnick, a sophomore from Twin Valley, Minnesota. Breaking ball, backdoor, strike called. Crippen working ahead, 0-2. Chopped on the ground. Luther, the shortstop, gloves it, tosses to C.J. Townsend, who steps on the bag at second. And on the fielder's choice, the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left on base. After 6 complete, 1 inning to go. The Bellevue Bruins 11, the Valley City Vikings 2. All right, Bill gives me an answer to the question I just asked Chris. Most teams throw their 1 or 2 guys in the order in the 7-inning game. By throwing ours, we're banking on outslugging or outruling opponents. in the 9-inning game. Run ruling. Thank you. Run ruling. There, if I could only read. All right. Thank you once again, Bill, for all of your great information that you pass on to us during the course of these games.
Now on the mound.
Ryan Reynolds is now on the mound. He's thrown 2 outs, not even a full inning on the year, and an ERA of 54. So it looks like they're just trying to finish this game out with and not having to use any more of their
quality arms.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't mean that to be a slap at Ryan Reynolds, but just kind of at this point in the game, you want to try to keep some of your guys that can get you some innings tomorrow in the doubleheader as well. And we have a new center fielder as well. Jet Solonic will come in to play center field. Jet, J-E-T-T, Solonic. He came in game 1 as well. Here's Mathieu Sirois, his first at-bat of the afternoon. Hitting in the spot of first baseman Trad Richardson. Mathieu takes a slider for a called strike 1. Quebec City, Canada, the home of the Sirois family, swings and misses at another breaking ball. That one a little more off speed than the first pitch. So he's down 0-2 in the count. And then a fastball, so pitching backwards is Ryan Reynolds. Gets the job done with the strikeout on the first batter he faces.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch sequence right there for Ryan Reynolds.
Designated hitter Eric Anderson steps in. Reynolds delivers a fastball. Reynolds has some pretty good pop on his fastball.
He's got some life to it. I like his demeanor on the mound as well.
A little skew shot off the top of the bat, handled at first base. And stepping on the bag for the second out of the inning. That looks like Ethan Muchow, freshman from North Dakota, handling the play and is a defensive replacement. Here's C.J. Townsend at bat. C.J. now at second base for the Bruins. His first at-bat today. Takes the pitch outside, ball 1.
See if he can get it going with 2 outs here to get something going.
Breaking ball hits the inner edge. 1-1. CJ, the 5'10 sophomore. Bounce to the plate, now 2-1 the count. Got 3 Oregon guys in the lineup right now. Swing and a miss. C.J. Townsend, catcher Nathan Springer, and pitcher Blake Krippman. What's Oregon's nickname as a state? Down low, full count upcoming for Townsend.
I don't know.
The Beaver State? Okay. Hence the Oregon State team, University. Little chopper on the ground. Shortstop comes charging. Nixon across the diamond, and the side is retired. 6-3 on the play. The first 3 up, 3 down inning in this doubleheader second game for the Bruins. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, last chance hotel for Valley City. They trail by a score of 11-2. And it will be Blake Krippman back to the mound to try to get the complete game victory.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he came out of this game right now. He's only had 75 pitches through 6 innings, which is very minimal, very, very minimal. So he looks still really strong, still looks really good. So, yeah, it was going to be his game to finish, unless something drastic happens. But, yeah, it's his game to finish.
An average of about 12 pitches an inning. You'll take that any outing. 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk in the game. Five hits allowed by Crippen as well. Well, we'll see if we get some more pinch hitters for Valley City in this bottom of the 7th inning. And just as the words come out of my mouth, we have a pinch hitter coming in right here. It'll be Cam Perro, freshman, another Canadian from Saskatchewan, on the pinch hit.
This is his 8th at-bat of the season.
First pitch from Crippen on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Backdoor breaking ball, called strike 2. Perro finding himself looking up at an 0-2 count as Crippen continues to work quickly. Ground ball to short. Ball comes up a little bit. Luther gloves it and throws it. And 1 away.
Yeah, that looked like a cutter. It was supposed to get in, but he didn't quite get it all the way in. Left it over the plate, but that's why you have Luther at short, who has, I believe, only 3 errors on the year.
Another pinch hitter. This is Peyton Jancy. Jancy, a freshman from West Fargo. First pitch swinging, comes up empty on the changeup. Peyton Jancy. Chopper foul. He too looking up at an 0-2 count. Ryan Reynolds, a good day. That's who Jancy is hitting for here. 2 doubles for Reynolds in this second game. And again, the changeup, the swing and the miss, and the strikeout on 3 pitches. Jancy goes down. And we've got time for another pinch hitter. Judson Seliskar steps in. He pinch hit in game number 1. He'll get a chance here as well. Judson Seliskar.
Yeah, he swung, and it actually hit him in the hand when he swung. So it is actually a strike on the hitter.
Thanks for picking me up there. I was writing his name in the book and didn't see the play, but that's one of those you'll remember. Hey, remember when you swung and it hit you?
Yeah, that was a fastball inside, and he just swung, and it hit him right in the hand when he swung. And, you know, it's not a hit by pitch. It's an actual strike.
Chopper foul over near the Bruin dugout. Now 0-2 the count. Looks like Seliskar is okay with that swing. Right down the heart of the plate with a fastball. Fools Seliskar and retires the side and puts an end to today's second game of the doubleheader. For the Bellevue Bruins, 11 runs on 13 hits. They commit 1 error. For the Valley City Vikings, 2 runs on 5 hits. They commit no errors. With the victory, the Bellevue Bruins are now 19-4. Overall, 6-0 in the conference and extend their winning streak to 12 games. With the loss, Valley City drops to 5-17, 1-5 in conference play. Blake Crippen picks up the win going the distance. And the Bruins come away with both ends of today's doubleheader. A much better job of hitting with runners in scoring position in game number 2 than what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between the 2 games, to be honest with you. 14 left on base in game 1 and 4 left on base in game 2. So they did a Bellevue's offense did a fantastic job at getting the runners on, getting them over, and getting them in. You know, you're going to leave guys on base. That's inevitable. But when you leave 14 on base, it's rare that you're going to come out and win those games. Yes, it happened in game 1, but in game 2, they came right back. They put together good at-bats. They put up 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the fifth, and then 3 in the sixth. Those are innings, and that's a scoreboard that, you know, I know the coaches and Coach Monlux love to see. They want to see that constant pressure with runs being scored every single inning.
With that last strikeout, Bruin pitcher Blake Crippen becomes the 53rd player in Bellevue University baseball history to strike out 100 or more players. So congratulations to Blake for that honor and also for his victory today in leading the Bruins to the victory for their 12th consecutive win. We will be back tomorrow afternoon. 5 o'clock Central Time is pitch number 1 of the doubleheader. Again, there's games scheduled before us. Omaha South High School also uses this field, so we'll hopefully get started right at around 5 o'clock. We may be running a few minutes late depending upon the length of the high school games prior to this. Again, thanks to Chris Williamson for his great commentary with our broadcast today. Thanks to Bill Mullins for all of the information he feeds our way. Thanks to all of you for spending your Friday afternoon with us on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Mick Krupski signing off for today. We hopefully will be talking to you again tomorrow as the baseball season continues. Keep it right here for more action all season long on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Enjoy the rest of your evening. So long.